Hello everybody, Iain Robson here, welcome back to Euro Truck Simulator 2. Today we're going to be hauling an asphalt miller. This is from Grimsby, Great Britain to Cardiff, Great Britain. This is one of the larger, I guess, larger scale ones. It doesn't weigh as much as other ones, let's say, but it actually is one of the bigger ones, just in terms of how big it is on the actual trailer itself. So we are not taking that, we are taking, where are we here? The asphalt miller. Here we are. So it's only 44 tons, but you can see how big it is on the actual trailer in comparison to some other ones that are a bit bigger. But anyhow, let's get rolling here. This is, of course, in Great Britain, so we have to drive on the wrong side of the road, for me at least. No one's coming there. Excellent. And I think I still have it in power mode. Let's make a right turn here. Let's just verify we have it in power mode. Don't know why it would have changed, but stranger things have happened. High power mode. Yep. Okay, we're good. There we go. Excellent. So this is what this thing looks like. It's actually pretty crazy. You often see these during road work is done, and they are kind of crazy when you see them in action, actually, because the way it works is it kind of like it takes it like a layer. Well, if it's what I think it is, at least I'm not an expert. But if it's what I think it is, it takes a layer of asphalt off the top and basically puts it on this little conveyor belt at the back here, and then it goes into like some sort of usually I guess it's sometimes yeah, usually it's a dump truck of sorts, and they use that for repairing the road, or you know, what would be the word they would use in this context? Resurfacing the road might be the best way to say it, really. Oh, we've got a green light coming up here. So they use it for resurfacing the road primarily, if it's what I think it is. I've never worked in a road crew, so I really have no idea if that is indeed exactly what it is, but from what it looks like and what I've seen in Ontario, for example, that's what it looks like to me, so I'm gonna say that's what it is. So anyways, but that's the way it is for me. So this is so bizarre. I changed earphones not too long ago. My earphones are broken, so I just need to fix them. And I'm using my wife's earphones, and it feels like it's squeezing my head, and it makes me sound really funny in these earphones, to me at least. So it's really bizarre. As I almost like don't want to wear them because of it, actually, which is kind of funny. So all right, 60 kph up here. It's a bizarre experience. Basically, what happened to my other earphones is it's just a wire that's loose, so I need to get my soldering gun out and or soldering iron and re-solder the connection, basically, which isn't something everyone would do, but I like those earphones and they sound really nice and they're comfy, so that's the reason why I don't really want to replace them if we don't have to. There we go. But I don't know, some people would I actually was talking to Lou the other day, and he's like, why don't you just replace your earphones? I'm like, because I like the ones I have, basically. And they don't really have the same ones anymore. They have like a new variation. So like I have a Razer, what they called Razer Orcas, which are from quite a long time ago, but now they have Razer Krakens, are the most up-to-date version of them, if memory serves. Oh, it's 80 up here. Okay. So it's the most up-to-date version of it, of my earphones. So I could get those ones, but my Orcas still work fine. It's just a question of repairing the connection, basically, because what was happening, I could see use like one of the sides of the earphones was perfectly fine, and then the other one decided that it was going to lose connection, and when I actually found out where the connection was, I could see exactly what the problem was. So oh, I feel like we should slow down a bit more than this. Oh, maybe we'll be okay. Nope, that feels like I should slow down a bit more than that. There we go, just so you don't lose control on the corner there, because undoubtedly that would happen with a heavy load, and if you're going down and you have to do a bend right at the end there with something like this, gotta be super careful, because undoubtedly it will lead to problems. Services in 200 yards. Good to know, thank you. I think we're good. I think we're good on fuel. Looks like we are, yeah. Looks like it. But yeah, that's the weird thing. So right now I have different earphones and everything sounds so, I guess the best way to describe it is tinny. In comparison to my other earphones, which makes everything sound bassy, I guess would be a way of saying it. So anyhow, that is my dilemma at the moment with my earphones, at least. So it's funny, but it's only something that I'm experiencing. So, have you ever experienced the same thing with your earphones? Let me know in the comments below. Not to say with you're hearing your voice, but let's say listen to music and whatnot. So, it's always really bizarre when you switch headphones and they sound a lot different. Like they just feel and sound a lot different. Like these ones, these earphones are like, how do you call them? They go on your ears as opposed to around your ears. My other earphones go like around your ears, but I think they're called circumoral. I think is the next expression for it. To say that the earphones go on the outside of your ear, or all like surround your ear, I guess. Anyways, but yeah, let me know if you've experienced that. It's quite a bizarre feeling to switch headphones and like everything just sounds just a little bit different now because of it. So anyhow, that is the way it goes sometimes. But just requires, it's not a crazy difficult fix. It's just a question of making another connection with a soldering iron, which isn't something I do very often, to be honest with you. I actually have to buy a soldering iron, but it's still cheaper than buying a new pair of nice headphones. I think the soldering iron's like 20 bucks, and then the new headphones would be like 100. So I'm saving myself like 80 bucks basically. And I like those earphones; they're comfy. So the situations where you've gotten so used to using those earphones, you've gotten kind of used to the way they feel and whatnot. Like if they were to break completely and the actual speaker and then would go, I would definitely replace them. But because it's just a connection issue, and I knew it was a connection issue because what was happening is every time I would just move slightly, I could still hear the sound. So it's frustrating when it happens. Let's just say that, because you're like, what is that? And then you're like, ugh. Anyhow. This is the way it goes. But nice English countryside here in the game. Moving away from earphones. This truck seems to be having no problems today. It's only 44. I think this is only 41, 44 tons, something like that. It's not super heavy, and it's not even wide either. To be honest with you, it's kind of just narrow. Well, it's narrow and heavy. Maybe a bit top heavy actually for this particular one, just based on how high it actually is. I would say it's top heavy if I had to guess. If you can hear the retarder kicking in there, it's very important when you're going downhill. If I were in American Truck Simulator, I'd probably hit my Jake brake right about now, going down the hill. But in European Truck Simulator or Euro Truck Simulator, I always have all the trucks ever. Well, not all of them, but every time I get a truck in this game, I always get one with a retarder transmission, just because it does make cruising downhill a lot better. Now, I'm sure I've mentioned this before a bit, but it would be interesting to see if they had made an electric truck that would actually regenerate electricity when it was going downhill in that kind of situation. It'd be curious. I know there are some electric trucks out there, but I don't think they're prominent. It's all diesel as far as I understand right now. But maybe in the future. I think Freightliner has a self-driving truck out, or is working on one. So it's possible that they might make that electric at some point too. So it would be quite interesting to see if they actually make that that specific truck also electric, and then it would be able to go back to its own charging station and stuff like that. So it'd be kind of curious to see if that was the case. I don't know. I haven't done a lot of research on that. I know it's becoming a big thing, like automated cars, self-driving cars, I should say, or self-driving vehicles. I'll say, sorry. Because they have transport trucks, they have tractors now. I think Case has a automated tractor, which is pretty crazy to look at actually. If you look it up on the internet, like just Google a Case self-driving tractor or something like that, you'll see some concept art and some photos of it and whatnot. It's kind of interesting, and you can do the same thing for. I think it's Freightliner who did it with the self-driving truck. It's there's a big egg there, huh? It's a bit interesting to see how they've all put it together. I don't know. A lot of people, I've asked this question to my students many times about would you be okay getting into like a self-driving taxi, for example, or it's like say you have an Uber or something like that, and you call an Uber, instead of there being a person in the car, it's actually it's just a self-driving car. So you just get in, and then it takes you to your destination, and you don't even talk to the driver because there is no driver. So actually, there's a funny movie. What movie is that movie? It is Demolition Man, I want to say it is, with Wesley Snipes. And is it Demolition Man? I think it is. Wesley Snipes. No, I think it's Demolition Man. I think it's Wesley Snipes and Sylvester Stallone. I think it's the movie. Anyways, in that movie, there is a part where they have these taxis, and they're like self-driving taxis, but they have like a mannequin in the driver's seat. because it's too weird to have no one in the driving seat at all. But that's what I'm just thinking of just now. Oh, we're slowing down up here. What's going on? Oh, you're making a turn. Okay. But that's what we just made me think of, like with self-driving taxis. It's definitely going to happen at some point in the future. I know it's not going to be anytime soon, but the fact that we have this technology already at our fingertips, we have this technology, not say at our fingertips, but we have it. It would be curious to see how it becomes a part of our everyday life, basically. Because it will at some point. Just a question of when. That guy's from France, if I had to guess, because he's from Lisette Logistique. Excellent. It's funny, it sounds so quiet in these trucks in comparison to American Truck Sim. And also I don't have any music on either. That's probably the other reason why it sounds like so quiet. Most of the times I do a little bit of a journey, I end up putting some music on or something. But this time, for the reason I haven't done that yet. Apparently we can't take a right turn into there. Okay. But we can there. That's bizarre. I don't know if that's an English thing or not, but I don't know why you'd want to go back. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the advantage of that is. Usually, like, let's say you're on the 417, the Highway 7, whatever happens to be in Ontario. Usually it's going to be like a lane that goes off on the left-hand side and comes back on the left-hand side. And depending on the size of the highway, often you'll have like a service station on opposite side of the roads. I think it's the 401E, 401 West going towards Toronto. I think, from Kingston, you'll have like the en route, and basically like they'll have one on either side of the road, just so they don't have people crossing the road and stuff like that, because that can just lead to some dangerous situations, like people not taking the proper precautions when crossing the road, because that happens a little too often. Especially these days with people using their cell phones and whatnot, and as they cross the road, and you're just kind of like, really? You're not even going to look like left and right before you cross the road? You're just going to stare at your phone? Like, alright, like... Alright, where's our left turn here? Take a little bit wide. Not too wide, though. Every time I drive one of these heavy haul... trailers, I'm still surprised as to how maneuverable these trailers really are. Oh, that's giving a little bit of a trouble on that hill there. Now we're going to Cardiff. Yes, we are. So we're going to stay in this lane. That's funny. I was a little concerned there that the truck wasn't going to be able to pull it up that ramp there, but it seems like we're okay. Maybe if I had stopped on the ramp, it might have been a bit difficult, but because we were already rolling, it wasn't so bad. So, yeah, going to Cardiff. I'm going to stay on this side of the road. Don't get too quick. Let's put the indicator on. Excellent. I don't know when, but ETS put police cars in their game, which I think is awesome. I think it wasn't like super recent, but it wasn't like a super long time ago either. But I just think it's really cool how they did that. There we go. Put our cruise back on. I'm pretty sure it's 97 up here. We can go for 97. Let's see here. Oh, 90 is our maximum speed here in Europe. Right, we're not in ATS. I'm like, why can't I go faster than 90? It's because we're in Euro Truck Simulator, not ATS. Because in ATS, the max speed is 105 kilometers an hour, whereas here it is 90, which is totally cool. Gives you a chance to appreciate the view, basically. Because they do a great job in this game with all the different places that you can go visit and whatnot. Now, I don't know how accurate they all are. Like, they can't incorporate everything, obviously. There's just too much. But they've been able to incorporate quite a bit of the different cities and whatnot. Now, if you go to like something like the Coast to Coast map mod, then you're going to see a little less in what's going on. But it gives you a good idea. You can still drive coast to coast, which is cool, but the level of detail is definitely not as much. But you know, that's the difference between like a free mod and a paid one, right? And when you pay for like a DLC in ETS, you're paying like SES to do you know, spend months working on things like that. So, like, I don't know how long the France DLC took, Vive la France DLC, but that is probably one of when I tried that one versus like the Scandinavian DLC or the Going East DLC. That's the one I was like, wow, they did a really good job with that. like the small villages you get to see and whatnot are just fantastic. So I should be on the left side probably, but I don't like how I feel like in ETS every single time I'm on the left in the left lane, the road will inevitably end and I don't know where to go from there, or I make a mistake because of it. Does this speed drop? Yeah, I guess it did. There's no camera here, is there? Well, we're gonna find out here in a second. Okay, construction zone is ended. Or not yet, apparently. Nope, there's the lights. I guess that's the end of it. I'm sure it will return at some point. No, apparently it's still 80. This is a big construction zone. Okay, cool, whatever. I don't know if it's like the same in Europe, but usually if there's a construction crew actively working somewhere, there's people present, it's double fines. So I'm sure it's the same or something like that, because in England they're even worse for that kind of stuff. In terms of like, you know, speeding, for example, or if you are, oh, I'm in the right lane anyway, sweet. If you're speeding, for example, they have lots of speed cameras out in Europe, in England and whatnot. Speed cameras haven't become a thing here quite yet. We tend to have a lot more stop or red light cameras, more is what happens right here, where I am, but I could easily see there being speed cameras at some point. We're still on the right lane. Okay, we're going to Cardiff. No, why is it saying? No one saw that. It was a safely made turn. I'm looking at the sign saying, okay, I don't have to turn here, and then I'm looking at the GPS saying, okay, no, we actually do have to turn here. Whoops. No incidents though. I'm kind of surprised about that actually. If you go back and look at how close I was to like rolling, making that turn, it was pretty close. Like basically, when they had the off ramp there's like a little bump, and I totally just ran over the bump, and luckily I didn't run into anybody. I'm actually pretty surprised about that. So if for a passing failing grade, I definitely would get a failing grade in driving. I don't know. Well, as far as I know, the rules for driving in England are a lot stiffer than the rules, or stricter, I should say, not stiffer, but stricter than they are in Canada. But Canada's getting there. You know, you gotta have safe roads. I know many years ago, one of the biggest problems they had with transport trucks was with the tires flying off on the 401 specifically, and people getting like really badly injured because the tire was like, you know, flying down the 401 while you're driving in the opposite direction doing 100 kilometers an hour or more, depending if you're speeding. And a few people died because of that kind of stuff. So at one point in time there was a real big concern about tires, but then what happened was, I guess they kind of sorted that issue out, and it's not as prominent as it used to be, but it does happen. Actually, in my neck of the woods, there was a pretty bad accident on one of the main highways here. I don't know what the transport truck driver did, but I think he fell asleep because he ran into the guardrail on the right hand side there. So he basically was like fell asleep and then drifted to the right, and then ran into the concrete barrier that was there, and then the trailer proceeded to roll over, but the truck kind of, it looked like it lost the tire and was on its side only. Didn't seem like it rolled at all, but it looked pretty nasty. And basically what happened was, because of that, a good chunk of the city was like backed up, because where it was like it wasn't close to like an on-ramp or an off-ramp. It's like in between off-ramps and on-ramps basically, so there was no easy way to get that truck out of there. Luckily it wasn't any kind of like chemical spill or anything like that. I think it was just a regular box trailer with like some cargo in the back, but it really slowed down traffic that day. And the crazy thing is, it slowed down traffic going, when I went to work, it slowed down traffic. I was trying to figure out in my head, I'm like, what's going on here? I'm like, why is this so slow? Like, it shouldn't be this slow to get to work. And then once we passed the truck on the main highway, they were like, oh, okay, that's what the deal is. So it made sense after the fact. And let's put our flashers on here. And the crazy thing is, coming back from work, it was also super slow, because I hadn't had a chance to actually like clean it up, I guess. And I talked to the bus driver, and I was like, what's a pretty slow day out there today? He's like, yeah. He was saying like, yeah, it's the transport truck that flipped over earlier today. I'm like, that is still going on. So It was basically something that had been ongoing for quite some time that day. It was pretty crazy, actually. It was a little. I hope the driver's okay. I have no idea. I didn't see anything on the news about it. I don't really watch news per se either, so that probably doesn't help. Let's slow down here a little bit. Looks like we're coming up to a bit of a sharper turn. There we go. I don't think we have to do 60 around here, but if I do 80 or 90 around here, I will surely flip over. There we go. Do 60 down and around here. That should be a bit safer. Alright, we're turning left. Yeah, but it was a pretty, looked like a pretty rough accident. But I don't think, there was only the truck, so he was by himself on the road. Well, I'm sure he wasn't by himself, but it looked like no one got hit, is what I'm trying to say. There we go. Excellent. I don't know how far off we are now. Probably not that far off, if I had to guess. Another 100 kilometers or so. It's not too bad. But I was really surprised when I figured out that was the reason why we had so many delays that day. But it was like one accident, you know, the whole day. If it had been a car, it probably would have been cleaned up relatively quickly. But because it was a transport truck and there was lots of other things that needed to be taken into consideration first, it was pretty in depth in order to clean that one up. So that's the first time I've seen that. I think that day was that week. I say it was pretty crazy because like one day I saw the transport truck. Another day I saw a scooter that got hit downtown, and then another day, I think, what was the other thing? I think my wife saw something too, and it was like just a combination of like 2 or 3 things. It was crazy. I don't know what the deal was, but it was like maybe the moon phases were changing or something like that, but I don't know. It was pretty ridiculous. It was one of those situations where like, really? Like, okay, like I guess that is I guess that's just the way it's going to be this week. Or I guess you could say it's going to be one of those weeks, is the way you might say it. But yeah, it was kind of crazy. Managed to get out fishing on Friday evening. Got a couple nice carp. Always fun times. Especially when you actually catch fish and you catch the fish you're actually trying to target, which is excellent. Sometimes you can go out and target things but don't have any luck, so it's always nice when you actually get what you're going for. And I didn't catch any turtles either, which is also a plus. One of the guys I follow online on YouTube, he went carp fishing the other day, and then he caught like 3 turtles, I think it was. It was ridiculous. Snapping turtles too, not like small turtles, like big snapping turtles. So he had his net with him luckily, and then he was able to deal with the turtles in a safe way, because snapping turtles can definitely snap your finger pretty easily. I'm sure. I think if you looked on YouTube, you'd probably be able to see someone putting a pencil in front of a snapping turtle just to see how it breaks. I'm gonna pencil, a stick maybe or something, but they can be pretty nasty if you get close to them. And they're usually pretty big too. Like they're not small usually. You only see the big ones. The small ones are always hidden somewhere, but the big ones are always super big and kind of like, okay, don't put your hand in the water there, basically. Nope, looks like we got a train going by. Nice. Let's get out of the cab here. Check out the train. Where is it coming from? Oh, there it is. Nice. In other news, they actually updated a cargo rail. That's a pretty small cargo rail. Oh well, at least for Canada, that'd be super small. They actually updated CSX Heavy Haul not too long ago, so there were hopefully going to be some nice changes and some updates there. I'll have to go back and check out that game again after the updates, see if they've made any significant changes that I can notice. There we go. But yeah, they made a few changes in that game, so like I said, they what did they add? They added some ability to change the color of a train, I think it was one of the things they added. And they also did a few other performance upgrades, which is good to see, because some people who had like ridiculously powerful computers were still getting like horrible FPS, which should not have been the case at all. So I don't know, they needed to do something. Like I have an older graphics card and I was able to play the game, but it wasn't necessarily like a pleasant, well, it wasn't like smooth, let's say. And you can definitely see that from the video. Like, you really got to have like a top-end computer. And even with a top-end computer, it was still bad. Like, I think Squirrel had some problems with it. Jeff Fabiano had some problems with it. Like, and they have pretty beefy computers. So it seemed a little on the ridiculous side that if you have like that kind of computer and you still have problems, like maybe it's an optimization issue. And the same thing applies for FarmSim, for example. Like, if you have like, if you go onto like Westbridge Hills, for example, and you get like 60 FPS, and then you go to like some other maps and you have like 10 FPS, sometimes it might be your graphics card, sometimes it might be the map. So all comes down to deciding what's the determining factor. So like for me, it's probably my graphics card in a lot of cases if I get like really, really low FPS. Because usually on like, let's say 90% of the maps, I have no problem with Swansea, Cardiff, Swansea. Usually with 9% of the maps, I have no problems with FPS. Like, it may dip a little bit, but it's not going to be like 10 FPS. Because if it gets that low just from without recording, then I'm not going to play that one. Because then it becomes not fun to play on and not fun to watch either. So, anyways, let me grab a quick sip of coffee here. Lovely. Seems like everybody has been enjoying the coffee with Iain's lately, which is good. Because I've been drinking coffee on Saturdays, it just seems like it goes hand in hand, really. Do a coffee with Iain and then drink some coffee at the same time. Go figure. But it's kind of fun. Gives me a chance to just chit chat with you guys, tell you what's going on, and some thoughts about random things. It's definitely not gonna be for everybody. People want to see just video games. They're probably gonna be like, no thanks. But people who want to know, let's say, some opinions about certain things, or be able to provide an opinion about certain things, definitely the right place for it. Looks like our destination is coming up here on the right. Probably shouldn't be going this fast. There we go. But I have to admit, like, this game is quite gorgeous. Lots of things, lots of variations in like environments, which is really nice. I find that in ATS sometimes, depending if I like on the coast to coast map primarily, I'm thinking of, I guess, because that's what I've been playing a lot lately. It's a lot of the same, and I hope that New Mexico brings something different to the table, because that's the thing that seems like it's missing. 30 kilometers an hour? Oh, down to 50. Okay. It seems like it's missing some like variation. So like California's really nice, but then that's once you're out of California, then it's like desert everywhere basically, which isn't so much fun to drive around in for like hours. So, but we're supposed to be getting oh, apparently the card is discovered. Never been here before apparently. Well, sometimes when they update the game, there's certain places I've been before but just haven't been back to, so it thinks I have not discovered these places, but a lot of times I have. Or maybe I have on my other account, because I do have another account that I tend to use with the multiplayer, and on that account it is I think it's based out of London. I want to say it is. I think it's London. Alright, Agro Nord, another French company, because you'd say that as Agro Nord. You don't really pronounce the D at all. That's your little French lesson for the day. Alright, left turn here. Looking good. Excellent. And then we're turning right. Let's get in the right hand lane here. Is this the right turn we were making up here? Looks like it, yes. And as soon as I get close, you're going to turn yellow, aren't you? Okay. I can live with that. Alright. Are we turning right again? Yes, so it looks like that is an yes. Or the way Lou would say it, affirmative, Ghost Rider. There we go. Let's play it safe. Okay. Let's see if we can do this here. I have yet to back up one of these trailers. One of these days I will do it, but not today. Oh wow, those maneuver quite a bit. Look at that. It's not too bad. Let's see what it's like when you back up just a little bit here. That's not terrible, I guess. They maneuver fairly well for a big trailer. Excellent. Nice. Let's see what the survey says. Excellent. Or in French, excellent. Nice. 21 grand, 640 experience. Very good. Anyways, folks, that'll be it for me for today. Hope you enjoyed that episode of European Truck Simulator, or Euro Truck Simulator. I think there's only a couple more pieces of cargo that we need to do in Euro Truck Simulator. Because we have done the train, we've done the crane, we've done concrete beams, we've done the asphalt miller. I don't think we've done the dozer. Have not done the dozer. Industrial cable we still need to do. And metal centering I think we still need to do. And I think that's it. I think. So, anyways, folks, if you like what you saw, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys next time in ETS. Catch you guys later.